Hi everyone, today we're going to get our client Carmen up with using a Maxi Lift. Arjo Huntley makes this particular lift. Some of the names you'll hear are Maxi Move, a Maxi Lift, or an Opera. There are other companies such as Prism that also provide Maxi Lifts, and they would have different names depending on the facility you're working in. So this morning I'm working with Judy as my partner. It always requires two people to operate a mechanical lift. You are able to position the client if the client is cooperative and able to help you, have the lift ready to go with the canvas in place, and bring in your secondary person. But we're fortunate enough to work together this afternoon. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the sling is the correct size, or the canvas. This particular one is a medium-sized canvas. If you look on the back of the lift, there's an indication based on the color of what would be the appropriate size color scheme. Okay. So the first thing we're going to have you do, Carmen, is I'm going to have you move over towards Judy. We're going to use a log roll technique. The canvas should sit just above the level of the coccyx. You can use this portion of the lift to landmark so that you have the lift correctly positioned underneath your client, not too much on one side or the other. The other thing you need to be aware of is that the stays are in place. They provide support to the head and neck. So I'm going to tuck the sling under so that Judy can receive it on the other side. Carmen, I'm going to have you roll back towards me, a little bump there. That's perfect. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and roll back. Great. And we can check that this thing is positioned correctly under. We see that this is equal on both sides, and that tells us the positioning is good. When you're operating any mechanical lift, you are working in collaboration with your partner. Once the client is situated on the lift and ready to be maneuvered, it is very important that one person is operating the lift itself, the other person is responsible for the client. And so Judy's role in this particular lift and transfer will be to make sure that the client is safely within the sling throughout the entire move. Make sure that her feet and her hands are not in any spot where they shouldn't be.
So Carmen, we'll just get your hands to stay right there.
I'm going to put the brakes on. Again, general rule of thumb, lock to load, unlock to unload. So make sure that my brakes are on. So this particular model offers up and down arrows to lift the client up and lower the client, as well as a widening and a narrowing of the base legs itself to allow for easy maneuvering around bed casters or wheelchairs. Okay. Make sure that your lift is on, indicated by a red and a green button here. Okay. So we lower the lift down. The lower you can get your lift down, the less tugging and pulling will be required in order to attach the stays on the canvas. Okay. You want to make sure that you hear that click sound. Are you ready, Carmen?
I'm ready.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. To raise Carmen up. Again, we only need to be able to clear the bed. Okay. So at this point, Carmen's in a sitting position. As I continue to raise her up from the bed, Judy's going to come around and take control of the feet and making sure that Carmen is positioned correctly in order to be in a sitting position to put her in the wheelchair. Okay. And I'm widening the base of the lift in order to accommodate the wheels on the chair. Okay. Now at this point, I cannot see behind Carmen, and Judy cannot see in front of her. So Judy is going to use the sling itself in order to guide Carmen into a sitting position so that her bum is placed at the back of the wheelchair and she's sitting correctly. I need to be cognizant of Carmen's feet so that they don't get stuck under the lift, and make sure that her knees do not hit the side of the chair. The wheelchair is locked at this point. Okay. Okay, and again, Judy is using the sling itself to guide her in, and I'm watching her feet and her knees at the same time that I am lowering down the lift. I am making sure that I don't go too far so that I don't hit Carmen's arms or hands. Okay, so we can remove the sling. Can you do that on yourself there? Okay. I'm going to lift the bar up here. Judy, would you mind bringing the wheelchair back a wee bit so that we can... We're going to move the machine out of our way, because that, of course, is the safest way for us to work. Okay. Put the brakes on. We're going to remove the sling now. So when we're working with two people, I'm going to take this leg. Judy's going to remove that. Judy's going to lift this leg, and I'm going to remove here. Now, providing Carmen the support she needs, we're going to lean her forward, and the sling just comes right out. Okay, you comfortable, Carmen?
I'm comfortable. We can put your shoes on.